there's one. Oh, there's a good one. There's one right there, son. There's one. Don't you jump. Oh, golly. Hold on, baby. Oh my goodness, a jerkbait fish. Here we go, folks. Look at that fish. That's what I'm talking about, son. Little jerkbait bass. Man, we got out here. Let me put my spot lock on. We got out here and decided we better get out here and do a little bit of jerkbaiting. After what we saw Matt and Lon catch, that was worthwhile coming out for. Had fun bed fishing, but let me tell you something. With this wind blowing like this, you almost can't beat a reaction bait. You know, and one of the best baits for these smallmouth is a jerkbait. Look at that. Isn't that just a gorgeous fish, folks? Look at that beautiful fish, huh? Oh my goodness. That's the fun part about spring fishing that I absolutely love, is getting out, being able to get some, you know, and the wind's blowing really good. And when the wind's blowing like this, we're just kind of going down with the current, so we don't do a lot of backlash and things like that. And just head down from shallow to deep. You find some dark spots, find some weeds, things like that. And man, I'll tell you what, I'm glad they're out here. We ran into Matt and Lon. They came into the cut where we were fishing and said, man, that jerkbait bite is on still. And they had a lot of fish. And so we managed to just figure, well, let's go out and throw some jerkbaits. This is something that'll wear your arm out, but it's very important to understand that if you can ever get down the jerkbait, man, in the wind with smallmouth, you'll be in heaven. Let me tell you, you saw the size of that fish. They just crush these baits. And I'll tell you what, it's a lot of fun. This is just a suspending shallow, and I'm giving it a couple hard twitches, you know, some real hard jerks, letting slack in your line. And I'll tell you what, they can't stand this bait. A lot of fun to throw. Got him right there. Oh no. Did you see that? That fish. Did you see that fish? Oh my God. He got hung up on the side of the dock and flipped himself off, and I still got the fish. I don't even know how well I got this fish hooked, folks. Must be pretty good. He's not even that big, but boy, he's a fun one. All right, you done there, fish? Oh man, the one thing you really have to be careful of is getting these treble hooks in your arm and everything else. You gotta be really careful. Got it. I might highly suggest using maybe a net to get these fish out of the water on a jerkbait. I'll tell you what. I don't know if you noticed what happened there, folks, but this fish literally got hung in the buoy there. Nice fish. And he came off, and look, I want to show you something. That's how he came off. I have no hook left on the back. Evidently it popped off on that buoy, and I caught him on that front hook. Can you believe how lucky I am getting that fish back to the boat right there? I'm telling you, that's incredible. I gotta change this up real quick, and we'll tie on another one just like it and get back to work. These things work, folks. Oh, there's one. There's one. I don't know if I foul hooked him. Oh, there he goes. He's fighting now. Another jerkbait bass. He don't want to come up either. Oh. He's not a giant fish, but he don't want to come up. Look at him. He's like, I want to stay down. That's one of them little males up there on the bank. Look how he ate that bait. Look at that. See, sometimes if you get them up under the belly like that, they don't jump on you so bad. Not that I recommend it. Like I said, you might want to use a net when you're using all these treble hooks, but here's the ticket. Look at that, beautiful fish, huh? You know, if you fish right up close to the shoreline a lot of times, and you get bit right away this time of year, it could be those little males just like that. But what I'm really looking for is being able to find like grass patches and stuff out from the bank a little bit. And that's where I'm catching the bigger smallmouth. So throwing up shallow, you catch the smaller ones, you pull back where the bigger females are sitting out, and you'll probably catch those. And so I'm kind of hitting and missing throughout the area, but what I'm really looking for is some good grass patches, black spot. You'll see them out here, black spots, you know, and that's where the big fish will be hanging out waiting to move up in. So just a little hint there for you. You know, and another good thing to remember when you're doing this kind of fishing is to use a medium action rod. You don't want nothing too stiff. This taipan rod is awesome for that. And the reason why you want a medium action rod is so when you do hook up, the fish has a little play, a little fight in it, and you got to fight the fish a little bit with those little treble hooks. Otherwise, you'll constantly pull the hooks out. A lot of times they might grab it by that back hook, and if they do that, then the fight's on for you. You got to really baby them in, and it's hard when smallmouth are jumping and all kinds of things like that. But that chartreuse shad's really working good today. It, you know, like I said, it's a lot of fun to throw. This little pointer minnow is all this is. 12-pound test line, 10-pound test line you can get away with. 12 pounds good. When the wind's blowing, you're gonna have a lot of fun with these jerkbaits. Oh, there's another one right there. Oh, that's a good one. Now see, you gotta make sure they don't try to jump on you too much. You don't know how well you got them hooked. All right. No, here he comes. Oh my goodness, that's a black bass there. I gotta keep him out of that buoy. There, he's out of that buoy. Oh man, I gotta keep him out of that buoy. Come on. Got him right off that little grass patch right there. This is a little bit better fish right here than that last one we just had. And he's got the back hook, folks. He's got the back hook. A lot of times, you can get him to, I'm trying to keep him out of that buoy. He's trying to get in that buoy. So I got my trolling motor on. I'm just kind of playing him, trying to get him out of there. Let him fight himself out a little bit. But that soft tip right there helps you keep from losing these fish. Let's make sure we got that fish hooked. I gotta let him fight a little bit. All right. Come on. There we go, come on. Right there, come on. Be careful with him, be careful with him. Oh man, I barely got him hooked in one hook. He's gonna come off here in a minute if I don't hurry up and get him in. I'm trying to get him hooked on that other hook right there. I don't want that hook in my hand, so. Got him, I got him. Whew. Man, you really gotta play. You see what I'm talking about? How you get them hooked in that, look how easy that hook came out. Keep pressure on them, but that is a beautiful 3-pound smallmouth, man. Look at that, just gorgeous, huh? 2.5 anyway. I mean, that's just a gorgeous fish. But that, when the wind's blowing, if you're not throwing a jerkbait in this clear water out here, you're missing out. It's a lot of fun. And man, I'll tell you, there's nothing more scarier than trying to lip a fish with a bunch of treble hooks in its mouth. You gotta really let it somewhat fight itself out where it's a little tuckered, where you can, it's not gonna flop its head or anything and get a hook in your hand. But that's the deal. We just came off this little dock area right here, and all we did was pull out a little bit. There was a little grass patch there. As soon as I saw the black spot, thunk, he hit it. It was awesome. A lot of fun. You know, one thing that's really important, like I said, is your retrieve. You want to snap the rod tip. Just pop, pop, pause, pop, pop. Now, during the springtime or during the summer, you can move it a lot faster, put a lot more pop to it. During the wintertime, you might pause it for a half a second or a minute sometimes. But what we're doing today is, in order to pop the slack into this thing, and you gotta put slack in your line as you pop it. So when you pop the bait, you bring the rod tip back and then slap it back towards the bait. So what you want to do is pop it and then point the rod back towards the bait. Pop it, point the rod real fast. Put the slack in the bait, and that allows the bait to hip hop just like this. Just like you're walking a dog, or give it that erratic motion. If you're just popping it, not putting any slack in it, all you're essentially doing is pulling the bait and it's doing this. You want it to turn around and almost look at the fish. And that's what you're looking at. Something that looks injured or trying to run away or something like that. So you got to put the slack in the line. So what I'm doing is essentially is just pop, pop, and then I'll pause it, pop, pop. And like I said, during the summertime, you won't hardly give it a pause at all. You'll just keep popping and they'll grab it. There he is. There he is. Oh! Look at that. That's a nice smallmouth, folks. Letting him play himself out a little bit. Got it. See how we get them on that back hook a lot of times. Sometimes you can bring them in and S-wave it a little bit and get that other hook in them just to be sure. But a lot of times if you got a net, you can baby them in and get them. I gotta use my other hand. There we go. Ooh, those are some good hooks on that bait right there, let me tell you. That's a beautiful fish. You know, that's probably a 1 3/4 pound fish right there. Beautiful fish. 1.5 pounds, 1 3/4 pounds. You know, there's a lot to be said on throwing jerk baits, and I know that I always tell people, they're like, well, how do you know if I'm throwing it right? Well, number one, you'll get bit, but number two, at the end of the day, it'll feel like your wrist is broke. You know, when you get a big fish on one of these things, when you go to jerk it, it just slams you. And a lot of times if they're going the other way, it feels like it'll jerk the rod right out of your hand. It's a lot of fun. But you definitely, something else you need is about a 6:3 to 1 gear ratio reel. I'm using obviously the Ardent reel. It's an awesome reel. This one's 6:5 to 1. 6:3 to 1's good, 6:5 to 1. Great to pick up that slack with this bait when you're throwing it, but it's an awesome reel. We use 10 to 12 pound test line again, like I said, on the fluorocarbon with this bait. But let me tell you something. This is really important with this bait to remember. When you get a follower, anytime you see the bait and you're seeing it coming in, and you find a follower coming, when you stop and pause that bait, if there's any way you can pop it and give it a little slack instead of bringing it to you, a lot of times that fish will look at it, and once you pop it, you can get him to hit. If you bring it all the way to the boat, it's harder to get them to bite because they see everything going on. But if you see it tracking it, if you just pause it for a second, see if he's gonna sit there and look at it and give it one good twitch, boy, a lot of times they'll be right on top of it and you'll catch those fish. A lot of fun, a lot of fun. Hey folks, for my tip of the week, one thing that's really important is bass are ambush predators, and they'll use that shade, especially when you're in an area that has a lot of sunlight like we do. If you look across the lake right here, a lot of sunlight. So anytime you can find any places where you have line of shade or anything like that, those bass will hide in there and they'll come out and ambush the prey. Now in saying that, that's where you want to put your bait. I don't care if it's wintertime, it's always a good place. People think, well, they need the sun to get warm. That's great, but when they're actually trying to feed or ambush prey, they're gonna hide in these shade pockets like this and come out and grab your bait. So throw it alongside these docks like what we're doing, or alongside the concrete barriers like we're doing, is a good thing. That's where we're catching a lot of these fish, or if you see a rock underwater that offers a little shade underneath. So always remember that. It's a great tip of the week. You'll catch a lot of fish doing it. There he is. There he is. There he is. There he is. He's a little one. Now that's a little male is what that is. Look at that. That's the smallest fish all day long. Those are the ones you really gotta watch for. Look at him darting around. See how we get him on the back hook though? A lot of times, boys, when you pause it and you go to jerk, that's exactly when they go to pop it and they don't quite eat it. Oh, there's one. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, that's a good one there. Oh, folks, look at that. Boy, they come right out the water. Another nice little smallmouth bass. You'll wear your arm out, but man, it's a lot of fun when you got the wind blowing. You almost can't beat throwing this kind of bait. You really can't. It's so much fun. I got him in both hooks there. I don't think he's going anywhere. Come on, buddy. Are you done? Here we go. That one's gonna be a lot of fun getting the hooks out of. Well, I'll tell you what, Parker has a lot to offer. And I'll tell you what, I have had a ball today. I'll tell you, jerk baits are a lot of fun. Prepare yourself for a blast in the wind. If you make wind your friend, you'll catch fish. And we did that today. And as much as I do not like fishing in the wind this hard all day, I'll tell you what, sometimes you have to make lemonade out of lemons, and I think we did that. And of course, this place is so beautiful and a great place to come. Not a lot of fishing pressure that I see on here. We've seen very few boats on the water today, and part of them was our crew having fun, getting ready to go to that Havasu tournament. Get yourself some jerk baits. Don't forget a medium action taipan rod, and it's a 7-footer. And you want that 7-footer, you want a real long one. You want one where you can, you know, be able to jerk that bait in and not hit the water all the time. So you don't want a real long jerk bait rod. And of course the Ardent reel. And I'll tell you what, this thing is awesome. The combination in itself was a great fun day. It's a pointer minnow and it's a suspending one. So you'll have a lot of fun, chartreuse shad. Hey, you can't beat that anywhere you go. Thanks for joining us on the water today. We'll see you next week. I'm Johnny Johnson. Now, see, that's what I'm talking about, folks.